Hey there everybody, welcome back to another one of my budgeting videos. This video is going to be about my 2025 setup for my new budgeting book. I have not used a Legend budget book before, which is what this is. I got it off of Amazon, but I wanted to try something different because while the one I was using for the previous 2 years was absolutely fine, nothing wrong with it, I just wanted to switch it up and have a bit of a change because I find if I use the same planner from one year to the next, I don't know, there's not quite as much excitement starting the new year. It's probably just me being silly. I did used to have an organizer, a budget planning organizer from Mead, MEAD, that company. They had a book, well, they have a line called not organizer like ORGNIZER, but organize her, if that makes sense. And they used to have the most amazing budgeting book. I absolutely loved it. And then they discontinued it. And I look every year in the hopes that they have brought it back, and they have not. So nothing lives up to those books. And it's not the fault of these ones, whatever I'm using since then. I just really loved that one. Having said all that, I have high hopes for this book because, I mean, to start with, it's gorgeous. I love this color. I love the picture on it. I love how it's like embossed. So there's like actual like indents in the leather, and I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. It is smaller than my normal books, like in page size, I mean. So my writing is going to have to be tidier because it's going to have to be smaller, and I don't want it to be like a cluttered mess, but that's a good challenge for me. So let's get it open. Now, not every section in this book have I opted to utilize, and this is one section I haven't, but just because I'm not using it doesn't mean that you might not want to know about it. So it's a My Life financial plan, and you're supposed to put in your age or like an age range, career and business plan, and then active income for that plan, and do it for a very large portion of your life. I don't map out my life like that. I don't have career and business plans. I'm in a job that I kind of fell into that I'm grateful for, but it isn't at all what I want to be doing. But considering what I want to be doing is acting, and yeah, I'm not. So let's just move past that. I'm on to like plan D of my life, I suppose. So I'm not filling this out. This might really work for some people, but not really me. There is also a section over here for assets and passive income. So I suppose if you're somebody who invests or has property or things like that, that might be something for you. I don't have assets. I have debt and a cat. So this doesn't work for me. But I am sure there are people out there that do planning like this, and kudos to them. I'm just going to skip past that. I did, however, oh no, the ink. I was so worried about that. I have filled out this section. So my 1-year financial goals and my mind map. I wasn't sure how to do a mind map, and the book does come with instructions, but I decided to just sort of create it on my own. So maybe it's wrong, but I like it. But let's start on this page first and try to ignore the transfer of my glitter pen. I should have waited before I closed the book. It's my fault. So my 1-year financial goals. I want to pay down my line of credit by $8,000. It has a current balance of $19,243.34, and I think $8,000 is a very large goal. I don't know if I will make it. I would very much like to. I took what the minimum monthly payment is right now and times it by how many pay periods there are in the year for me, and that came out to $10,395. And that's insane. I don't think I can pay off $10,000, especially since that calculation did not take into account the compound interest or like the regular interest charges or the disability premiums that get charged onto the line of credit every month. So I decided to lower it to $8,000, which still seems very high to me. I'm hopeful. It would be amazing if I could do that. Yay, but I don't know. And that makes me a bit nervous because I'm not usually one to create a financial goal that is so high that it's unattainable, because then if I don't reach it and I feel like I've failed, I'm worried that it'll set me off for being like, well, if I can't even reach a goal that I set, what's the point in trying? And I don't want that mentality. But at the same time, I wanted to put a number down that I was going to have to work for. It wasn't going to be super easy. I wasn't going to achieve it in the first little bit of the year and then feel like I could just kind of take it easy from then on out. I have a huge amount of debt to pay down. I need to make very big strides towards it this year. Need, want, either way, however you want to look at it. To me, it's need. I need to get this paid down. So I picked $8,000. Like I said, I don't know if I will hit it, but that is the goal that I have set myself, and I'm going to try my absolute best by the end of December 2025 to have paid off $8,000. So yeah, that's, oh, and by the way, that means that's not 8,000. See, this is where I don't know how to explain things very well. So it would mean that I would have a closing balance at the end of this year of $11,243 and change is what I'm meaning. So like this is taking into account the interest that gets charged and the disability premiums that get charged every month. So, every month I make whatever payments I make, and then some of the payments are basically like X'd out because now there's charges on from those premiums or whatnot, and then I continue on going through. So I want this balance to be down at $11,243.34 by the end of December, if that makes sense. My next financial goal is savings challenges. Now, I know a lot of people say that if you're working on paying down debt, don't do savings challenges, don't do savings really at all, except for like an emergency fund, because every cent should be going towards paying down the debt. And I do understand that logic. So if you're somebody who thinks like that, please don't come for me in the comments and saying that I shouldn't be doing saving challenges because of those reasons. I completely get it. I didn't do savings challenges last year because of that. However, the house that I live in, I rent the basement suite. It is up for sale. It at any moment could be sold. And then I have roughly 3 months to get out, which means I'm going to have the costs of moving, the costs of, the down deposit in a new place, just the higher rent, because rent has gone up since I moved in here and it's only been a year, and it's, you know what it is. Moving is not cheap. So I'm going to try my best every payday to put some money into a savings challenge so that the money that I save up, however little it may be, can go towards the cost of moving when the move happens. And because I don't have a defined date for that move, I feel like I'm floundering a little bit with the savings challenges, like which one to pick, how to start, things like that. Like before, I've done the 52-week challenge. I really like that challenge, but I don't know that I can actually afford that challenge right now because money is tight. So I have looked into like low income savings challenges, like $1 savings, $2, $3, $5, 20, like just different types of ones. And I think what I'm going to do is implement sort of a variety of those ones. And then that way, hopefully every payday, I can at least save $1. Do you know what I mean? So then that'll go towards coloring in the $1 savings challenge tracker. And then it'll just be, I'll put whatever I can towards savings every single paycheck. I'm well aware that there's probably going to be paychecks I won't be able to put anything towards savings, well, like a savings challenge, and I'm just going to have to accept that. But the savings challenges do have the ultimate goal of whatever I am able to save to put it all together and put it towards moving costs. So I'm doing that, and I'm just going to be working on that throughout the year for as long as I have until the move actually happens. So, I think that it's a valid reason for implementing or adding into my budget a savings challenge when I'm still in so much debt, because the move is going to come whether I want it or not. I have no idea when it's going to happen, so I can't plan financially for a specific time frame. I just have to be as prepared as I can be for when it happens. Number 3, no cost or low cost activities. I don't really know if this falls into a financial goal, but it's something I just want to remind myself of, that there are a lot of activities that you can do within a city that are low cost or zero cost. And I need to look into that more. I can't just be always going to things that are costing a lot of money for either like admission or for the food when you're there or for just the activity in general, whatever it is, because I'm trying to live very frugally this year so that I have as much money as possible to put towards my debt. So I need to look into different things that are happening in the city that are no cost or low cost. I'm really lucky that where I live, there's stuff that happens during winter, but I'm not really an outdoor winter person. But once like the spring and the summer hit, there's lots of things to do. Even something as simple as a walk. There's a lot of really pretty trails to go on. You can do that with a friend, have fun hanging out, not spend any money. Like there are things, and I just have to do a better job of finding them and roping my friends into going with me. And number 4 is intentional spending. I'm not a person who's comfortable saying I'm going to have a no spend January, for instance, because I just don't know what's going to happen in January. And for example, the overhead light in my apartment died, and it has not a normal light bulb, but this really expensive circular thing. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm not replacing that. If the house wasn't up for sale, I would replace it because I live in this space. But the house is up for sale. I could be moving out in 3 months. I'm not spending like $100 on a replacement weird light fixture thing just to be out of here. So I bought a $20 lamp from IKEA. So the lamp was intentional in that I needed a light source, and it was a cheaper option than replacing the weird light fixture thing in the overhead ceiling section. But it wasn't something that I could have planned for. And if I was really trying to do like a no spend month and then all of a sudden something like that happened, I don't know how I would feel about breaking the no spend because I have to buy this item, even though I kind of have to buy it because I don't have lighting. So, so I don't know. I'm not super big on no spend months just because I don't know what's going to happen. But I just want to be more intentional with my spending. So less impulse purchases, less sort of, oh, I'll toss that into the cart when I'm at the store because I'm here and why not? It isn't that expensive anyways. Things for Striker will never be skimped on. He will always be taken care of. He's my cat. But things for me, I just want to be more cautious in my spending, less impulse purchasing, more really thinking about it. Do I really need it? Is it something that has to happen now? Can I wait until it goes on sale? Put it into my online cart, but then don't buy it for a week to see if I'm still thinking about it. Things like that. Because I think the more intentional I am with my spending, the less I will actually spend, the more money I will have in my budget to go towards paying down the line of credit. See, it all loops back. Now, this is my version of a mind map. My year, I don't do resolutions, but every year at my birthday, which is the 23rd of December, I try to think about the coming year and something that I want to focus on. Some years it's only one thing, some years it's a couple different things, like it all just depends on what I'm feeling in the moment. So for this year, I wanted to focus on money, healthier living, and home life. And they actually all very nicely, in my head anyways, connect. So starting with money, my 2025 budget, I want to have it. I want to follow it. I want to do my best by it. I want to continue paying off my line of credit. I want to do a savings challenge. I want to blog more. My blog is on WordPress. I usually put the link in the little comment section underneath the YouTube videos, and it does actually qualify for AdSense, but I don't write on it nearly as frequently as I used to, which means I get less visitors, which means I get paid out less often. So I want to blog more, but I'm also very picky about, I'm not just going to blog something nonsense just to try to get a view. Like, there's always a reason that I post what I post. So I'm not just going to be putting up stupid things. Well, I mean, some of them are like funny and not like serious. It's not a serious blog, but I'm posting because I have something I want to say, not just because I'm trying to get somebody to view it so I can get a penny. And then creating my line of credit payoff tracker. I'm in the process of creating it. I'm going to do a whole separate video for it once it's done. The plans that I have, I hope work out because I think it'll be pretty great. So then money connects into also to healthier living, because I'm not living as healthy as I used to be before the concussion. I'm very limited in what activities and exercises I can do. And for like a good 8-9 months after the concussion, my appetite was just weird. It barely existed. I hardly had it. I was nauseous all the time. I was really struggling with eating. So then when I did eat, I didn't really care what I ate, because I'm barely eating anything in the day. I don't care if what I'm eating in this particular meal is high calorie because I'm barely eating. I need to sort of force out and regulate my eating over the span of the day to make it healthier, and to have it not just be one sort of like higher calorie or Weight Watch pointed meal and then everything else kind of barely eating. I just need to make a better eating plan. So for my healthier living section, my physio, I'm still doing physio, so of course that's going to be part of it. I need to incorporate daily movement into my life, because if I don't have a physio appointment, and if I'm just having kind of not the best of days, I don't move around a lot. And I think movement is really important, even if it's just like a little walk to an exercise YouTube video in my living room. I think it's something I should try to incorporate daily. I want to make an actual workout plan. Due to finances, I had to cancel my gym membership. So now I need to actually come up with a plan for workouts at home or out in the world, because I always just relied on having the gym. So I need to come up with workout plans and ideas. I want to cook healthier meals. I want to get back into the swing of things with Weight Watchers. I fully believe in Weight Watchers. The program does work if you follow it honestly. I just have a tendency to not. So I want to get back in line with Weight Watchers, because for me anyways, my body really does sort of follow the rule of like, when I want to lose weight, it's really more about what I'm eating than it is about what my activity level is. Activity is important, don't get me wrong, but the food is also extremely important. So I need to actually get back into the habit of tracking, and I have a plan for that as well. And batch cooking. I am intending on doing batch cooking at the end of every month or at the very beginning of a month, depending on where the weekends fall, and then having roughly 15 frozen dinners to get me through the month that's coming up. So I'm not doing it for January because I'm using January for kind of prepping and planning and getting ready for things. But at the end of January, I'm going to have a day where I batch cook 3 big meals, freeze everything, and then during work weeks, so it's not for the weekends, but on working days, over the next month, I will have 15 dinners already done and prepped and ready to go. I just have to warm them up. I'm going to pre-point them in line with my Weight Watchers plan, so I'll know exactly how many points they are. And then I'm leaving the other evenings that aren't going to be covered by those 15 meals for when I want to have like ramen or go out for dinner with a friend or just want to have like some simple eggs and veggies or something like that. So that is on my radar. I'm looking at recipes. I have a friend who's going to teach me how to make this lentil stew that she does. Yeah, like I'm trying. And then that actually also connects into money because by doing the batch cooking and by being more intentional and cooking more at home and cooking healthier meals, I should be saving money in my food category. At least that's how I'm hoping it pans out. So then they're kind of connected. And then healthier living leads into home life, and so does money actually. So home life, I want to bake more. I really like to bake. I don't do it as often as I would like. I would like to do that more. I want to practice cooking. So by that I mean practice like cooking new recipes, trying different things. It goes in line with the batch cooking and with following Weight Watchers better and cooking healthier meals. I don't want, but we're gonna have to move, so prepping for the move and then moving is in there. The library, I just want to utilize it as a free resource for entertainment. I like to read. I've been really struggling with being able to read since the concussion. Not that I can't actually read words, but I can't follow storylines very well. So it makes it very hard to read, but I want to try to start up again. And you can also borrow from libraries like movies and DVD sets of like TV shows and things like that. So if there's something that you want to watch that's on a streaming service that you don't have, you might be able to find it at the library, and then you don't need to like pay to watch like 8 seasons of a TV show you're really interested in. I want to organize my space more. So when I moved in, my concussion was at like its worst, and I couldn't organize or settle or even really unpack. I had some friends help me unpack the essentials, and then I just lived in amongst piles of boxes. Eventually over time I was able to clear the boxes, but I really just like threw things into closets or into drawers, and I didn't organize the way that I really wanted to when I moved in here because I was just not physically capable of it. And then I was sort of getting to a point where I was like, I think I could start organizing small sections, and I was actually going to start with my stationery because it was getting cluttered in this little corner, and we found out we were moving. So then I really hit like, oh, well, what's the point in organizing anything if I'm just about to pack it all up? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But then I don't know, this past week or so, I realized like I don't enjoy being home as much as I could if I had the place set up the way that I would like it to be, just because, say like my stationery section, like this little area that I do my budget in, it was really cluttered, really busy, and it wasn't nice to be in necessarily. So I took some time and I've organized my stationery and this little area, and I really like it and I enjoy being in it, and I realized I should do that for other areas. Just because I'm moving doesn't mean that I can't still work on small projects. Now that does mean I'm not going to put up shelves, I'm not going to put things up decoratively onto the walls or things like that, because that doesn't make any sense. But the inside of my closet or like some shelving drawers I have, things like that, like I could organize those and just find contentment in that. So I want to make my living space somewhere that I actually enjoy more. YouTube videos, I really like making these YouTube videos, so I just want to keep doing that. Simple contentment is sort of all encompassing. So I want to learn how to crochet. My friend bought me a beginner's kit. I really hope I can figure it out. I'm working on a cross stitch already. Like I said, I want to try to get back into reading. I want to find ways to be at home, activities to do that aren't just sitting and watching television, that I find contentment in, that are low cost. I know like they're not going to be completely free. Like you need supplies for cross stitching and crocheting and various hobbies and whatnot. But I want to find that enjoyment that I used to have of just being at home and working on a little project on myself, not on myself, but like on my own, and not having to be spending money going out and only finding enjoyment in life doing things that cost me money, because there's a lot of things that you can do at home that will bring you feelings of contentment or joy or happiness, excitement even, that don't cost as much. And I need to work on those. Some of them will be like, say, baking. I love to bake, so that could kind of tie into the simple contentment. But yeah, so these are my sections that I work, sections? Things, these are the things that I want to be working on in 2025. And in the way that my brain works anyways, they all interconnect. If I can find more activities to do at home that I can find simple contentment in, that I don't feel the need to go out and spend money to do an activity just to like prove that I'm having fun, that's going to save me money. If I can engage in the savings challenges, that means that when I have to move, it's not going to cost me as much onto my credit card because I don't have enough money saved up to pay for everything. If just, does this make sense to anybody else? To me, it makes sense. So this is my mind map for 2025. And here is my budget so far. And it's not great, but I'll explain why. So it has make 2 payments. So, okay, no, my most important goals this month, I put make 2 payments onto the line of credit, create a budget plan for 2025, make a line of credit debt payoff tracker, and savings challenges for the moving expenses. So I've already just explained all of those. Here's my calendar for the month. The calendar is physically smaller like the boxes are, so I'm going to have to use tinier stickers. It is not completed because, like I said, billing cycles haven't closed, even though we're well into January at this point. So I don't have on here my Visa or my Neo credit card. I never put on my cell phone because I pay my cell phone every paycheck. I'm not waiting for like the bill date, but I thought it would be nice to actually track when the bill due date is for the cell phone, but it doesn't show me that for January yet either. So I put on what I have: my rent, my paydays, my SUV automatic withdrawals, my line of credit is due on the 27th. Nothing else is closed yet, so I can't fill in the dates, and I don't want to guess. If I can avoid it, I like to avoid guessing on the dates, because then I'm not having to like draw an arrow from like the 30th to the 22nd to be like, oh, it's actually there. The monthly budget. So this one comes with automatically filled in sections. So let me show you for like the next month what they are. So they're home, personal, food, transportation, healthcare, entertainment, loans, and other. Home is huge. I don't need that much space in home. All I have is rent and my cell phone that I put in the home category. Same with personal. I don't need that much space. So I was relabeling some of them. So I changed home to sinking funds and personal to cash envelopes because those need more lines. Food is sort of where I made a mistake. So I'm going to have to figure out how I want to change this for February, because now I'm putting in my cash envelopes on the monthly budget page. My cash envelopes have my grocery money. And it is technically grocery and household, but there's only so much space. But then there's a food category, so I put groceries and household over here, so now they've duplicated out. And the same with Stryker. Stryker is under the cash envelopes there, but then I also made a section for Stryker automatically because he always has a section. And I don't really need the duplication of information. So I think next month I'm going to recategorize food, and I'm not going to put Stryker in a section all of his own, and then those are all going to be handled under the cash envelope section. Transportation section is fine. It has my payments for my RAV4, how much gas I budget for, and then when I start back into the office, it'll have my costs for parking at work. And then maybe I'll change food to home, just to have it up there. So home has my rent and my cell phone. And this book has a section for loans. And so I decided, why not? So I put my line of credit and then how much my minimum monthly payment is for this particular month times 2, because of course I try to pay it twice. And then there's an other. I haven't figured out if I'm going to need the other for anything. I don't think so. I don't have that many categories. So it's a little bit messy and there are some duplications, but I'm going to work on that because I didn't really realize there were duplications till I'd already written them in, and I didn't want to white out half the page. So next month will be tidier. I am going to keep those up there because they need more space. And I think it's really just that I'm going to keep transportation, move home up to there, and then the rest of it will be blank except for the loans. That's the best I've come up with so far. The rest of the pages for the month are the expense tracker. Now, as you know, if you've seen any of my other budgeting videos, I don't use the expense tracker as an expense tracker. This is where I will write in what my actual budget is for each paycheck. So that's what I'm still going to continue using these pages for. And then at the back of the book, they have savings tracker. So I put in for my RAV4 insurance, my tenant insurance, my travel, my present, my emergency fund, my tech, which is my Microsoft, Norton, and WordPress, and Dragon Boating. So these are all of my sinking funds. I might, I don't know, I might use the last one to put the savings challenge that I partake in, but I'm not sure yet. That's why I left it blank. So these are all due at different points in the year. Some of them are never due, like travel doesn't have a due date necessarily. I just always put into travel. I always put into presents. I always put into emergency fund. So those ones don't really have end dates. The RAV4 insurance has a due date, so does my tenant insurance. So I'm going to have to pull up that information, and then I'm going to see. Some of it is a bit of a guess because things change, right? My insurance changes a little bit every year, so does my tenant insurance. So I'll look at what it was last year and put that amount, and then just sort of use it as a guideline for what I'm going to need for when the 2025 bill is due. And the thing is, I've been inputting money into the savings trackers already, because I put in, as soon as I pay my insurance, it gets due in the summer, the next paycheck, I'm automatically already putting money back into the sinking fund for my insurance. So I'm going to have to take a look at all of my different sinking funds and see what are the balance in all of them, put a starting balance, and then just continue on with tracking through the year until I get to the due date for that individual one. And then there is the debt tracker. There's multiple pages for the debt tracker, which I very much appreciate, but I actually currently am only working on my line of credit. I do have a car payment, but I don't track that as part of the debt tracker. Once my line of credit is done, I will be making additional payments onto my car loan, but for right now, it has a set payment plan. It gets paid bi-weekly. I'm just leaving it. I'm just not touching it. So my line of credit has an opening balance of $19,243.34. I'm not going to enter in the minimum payment because it changes every month as my debt goes lower, and I'm just gonna put in payments. And instead of trying to squish in for 1 month 2 payments on one line, I'm going to extend down into the next box. So this whole page is going to end up being the line of credit, potentially even part of this page, because I am hopeful that there will be months where I can make additional payments outside of what is my regular payment that I do with like my paycheck. So those I want to be able to enter in as well, nice and neatly on their own line. So I'm very, very hopeful that the line of credit debt tracker is actually going to take me to somewhere into this box. Crossing fingers. And then, so there's our debt tracker. Oh, holiday budget. I've never done a holiday budget like this. It really makes me feel like they're gearing you towards Christmas. I don't know. I've never been one to budget for like the wrapping and the cards and the groceries and the decorations and whatnot. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use this, just because it's not, I don't know. Do you guys do holiday budgets? Is this really a thing? I don't know. I mean, I can see the logic behind it, because December and the build up to December. Okay, so I do Christmas, so I'm just going to refer to the holiday that this is for Christmas. It's expensive, and there are additional charges and expenses that come with it. But I don't know. Maybe I'll see if like partway through the year, if my budget is loosened up a little bit. I don't really know how that will happen, but you never know. Maybe I can start putting money specifically towards Christmas expenses, maybe. But to me, that would mean just creating another sinking fund and just doing, like another one of these savings trackers and then lumping it all together. I don't know. I haven't decided. I don't think I'm going to use this section, but I can see the logic behind it. And then the last part is the regular bill tracker. So I have my rent, line of credit, Visa, Neo, RAV4, and cell phone. It's fairly self-explanatory. There hasn't been a paycheck yet this month. So, I mean, I did pay rent. So I suppose. There we go. 1 check mark. So I've paid rent for January. It's self-explanatory, right? Like hopefully by the end of the year, I remember to fill it in, and I've just got lots of little check marks. And then the rest of the book is like summaries of the year and note pages. So that is my 2025 setup for my budgeting book. This video took a really long time. It was a lot of talking. I'm very sorry. I think it was because instead of just talking about the month, I derailed myself by talking a lot about the mind map. But I kind of like it. I like how it all connects and how all the things that I want to focus on this year are sort of weaving together in a way so that, as long as I can keep up with all 3 of them, then hopefully all 3 of these sections of my life will do well. The danger is that if one falls off, it might drag the other 2 off the rails as well. But let's try to think positive for now. So there we go. That is my 2025 setup for my budgeting book. I don't set up the future months in advance. I do them when the month occurs because you don't know what might be changing with any of the numbers. And yeah, this is it for now. You'll see it again on the weekend when I get paid, because I get paid on the 10th, and by then hopefully my billing cycles will close, so my calendar will have a bit more information on it. How about you? How is your 2025 budgeting book going? Have you sat down and set it up yet? Have you had a payday yet this month? Maybe you got paid on the 3rd, so you're already well and truly into your new year budgeting. I really feel like I'm on hold with it a little bit because I haven't had the paycheck yet, so it always feels a little bit theoretical for the new year for me until we've had that first paycheck and I've actually done something. Until then, it's all just words on paper. So thank you very much for sitting through this video with me and seeing what I've done with my 2025 planner and how I've set it up and what my goals are for the year. I really do appreciate it. I hope you are having a really great start to your new year, and that if you do something like a mind map or making plans or goals or whatever for the coming year, that they're, you know, like you're figuring them out, it's going along well for you. It took me a little while to figure out mine, so like if you haven't figured out yours yet, no judgment, because mine, yeah, they took a while. I've been thinking on these since before my birthday on the 23rd, so you know, like, and it's what is it, I don't even know what the date is. It's the 5th of January and I'm only just now getting them written down on paper, so yeah. Thank you so very much for watching. I really do hope that you're having a great day. I will talk to you all in my next budgeting video. Stay safe out there. Bye.